Conquer community, what's up, guys? I am here with the triple threat, the Rodman, the Shaq, and the Jordan of the online training community. That's right, guys. I refer to us as the Bulls. Rodman,
I like it. Is this going to be a thing?
Pippen, and Jordan. I think it's a thing. I
like it.
This should be
All right,
the
guys.
shirt.
What do you say?
The new shirt. Just
You know,
saying.
do you remember the old shirts that came out where it was like a cartoon character of the guy in the NBA, like it'd be Jordan, but a cartoon character and like dunking on like 7 people. Remember those shirts?
Yeah.
We should get like those made for us.
Yes.
I'm down.
That'd be awesome. We even have a bit emoji shirt made up for Dom.
I'm off the call. We're done, guys. We're done.
We're reviewing CCT number 11 for you guys. We're going to give you guys our insight before the workout hits. And then, as always, we'll be back here on Friday post-workout to give you our review of how we went. But let's go through it. So CCT 11, we have in one running clock, 3 rounds. This is a sport version. 7 shoulder to overhead, any way you want. 135.95. I'm sorry, 21 shoulder to overhead, 135.95 into 7 bar muscle-ups. Once you're done with those 3 rounds, you're going to immediately go into 3 rounds of 7 shoulder to overhead at 185, 125, 21 chest bar pull-ups. Let me discuss that one more time. Running clock, 3 rounds, 21 shoulder to overhead, 7 bar muscle-ups. After those 3 rounds, right into 3 rounds of 7 shoulder to overhead at 185, 125, 21 chest to bar pull-ups. That is the sport version, right? Now we'll talk about that, and then we'll rehash into the GPP version. So we're going to start with Coach Ryan. Ryan, what are your thoughts on this workout?
I mean, I love this one. I think like any sort of good push-pull combo, like I'm down with. And I think this is really interesting from kind of like an attack standpoint. Like this is a workout that you definitely need to think about, like the cumulative fatigue of especially that first round. The weight and the reps, like the weight is just heavy enough to where this amount of reps is really going to blow you up for part B, you know, like 135.95 to like our higher level athletes doesn't sound, is not a daunting weight. But 3 rounds of 21 reps is definitely going to take its toll, especially when we go into that heavier barbell on round 2. So definitely go in, make your strategy for the first part, knowing that B is probably going to feel worse than what you think it's going to.
Couldn't agree more. Dom, I know you're salivating over this workout. What are your thoughts of this workout?
Yeah, like from just a coaching perspective, I look at it and I'm like, it's just a very pretty workout. It's just like, obviously it's a crappy one. It's a lot of reps and stuff, but it just looks very beautiful. And I love it from a coaching standpoint. From an athlete standpoint, it hurts. It hurts reading it because I'm like, I know the feeling. I know when it's going to start to hurt. I know all of that for myself, you know, because when I see this, I see bar muscle-ups and chest to bar. It doesn't matter the repetition. I'm going to go pretty hard on that. And then the shoulder to overhead, like Ryan said, Ryan hit everything on this has to be a strategy workout. You can't just be like, I'm just going to turn it off and just see what happens. It's just not that type of workout. You really can't do that. That 21 shoulder overhead is pretty gross. That third to get nasty, and you don't want to. Usually when you get this round, you want to kind of push it a little bit, but it's not the last round because then you go into a little and it gets a little bit grosser, and then you get into those chest to bars where it's just everything's kind of starting to fail. So hopefully you hang on a little bit.
Yeah, like, I can't agree more. I think my feedback for this one, guys, is the 7 shoulder overhead at 185, 125 is going to feel like a kick in the dick. You know, like if you hammer those 21s and those 7 bar muscle-ups, it's front delt, it's tricep, it's lat, right? And then where you're essentially doing the same movements with heavier weight, the flop rep scheme. So be aware of that and have fun with it. You know, I think this would be very interesting. It is very person and athlete specific. So if you don't know what sort of athlete you are, well, you probably figure it out. If you do, it's going to allow you an easier way to game plan and strategize. Like someone like Dom, Dom, what would you do in this workout?
I was just gonna ask you guys what you think you do. I think for myself, I'd probably do 2 sets of the 21, and then do the bar muscle ups unbroken. And I'd probably stay unbroken with the bar muscle ups. 7's not that crazy to me, and doing 2 sets of the shoulder to overhead, maybe 3 even on that 3rd round. And then on that next one, I'd probably do 2 sets of that 185, and then do 3 sets of chest to bar just in case. Maybe try to hang on the last set because it's the last round. But yeah, probably 2 to 3 sets on those shoulder to overhead, and just move it quick, very quick, like a cluster. But the gymnastics, I'd probably stay pretty true to as unbroken as possible.
Rob, what would you do?
Oh, I mean, being a taller athlete, towering over most of the normal people. I think for me, I would probably go 7-7-7 in the first part, and then probably 7 unbroken bar muscle ups, and then break it up in rounds 2 and 3, depending on how I was feeling. I mean, the 185 shoulder to overhead would be a little bit heavy for me, so probably 2 sets there, and then the chest to bars, I think I would just go 7 to 10s and just try to stay close to the bar, like a quick shakeout, knowing that I am not a gymnast.
I got a question, Rye. What would Dan do? So, guys, Dan is an athlete very similar to Dom, but I think he's a little shorter with shorter arms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think? Would he try to just say, F it, I'm just going for it?
Yeah, I mean, knowing Dan, and I think Dan tends to overpace, which I think in this workout would actually benefit him. I think he would go, and he had a really strong shoulder to overhead. So I think for him, he would probably go 2 sets on the 135 shoulder to overhead bar, definitely unbroken on the bar muscle ups, and probably stick with that strategy. And then he's he's a late bloomer. Like, he would have turned it on pretty late in the workout, and then go unbroken on the 185 bar. Probably 2 sets on the chest to bar. He's got small hands, all right, and like, he's a little Asian kid, so holding on to the bar is challenging. So he'd probably go 2 sets on the chest to bar, and then maybe that 3rd one, 2 or 3, depending on how he was feeling.
Awesome.
But definitely like increasing the intensity throughout the workout.
Yeah, I love it. Well, guys, enjoy the workout. Oh, sorry, the GPP version. Let's run through this. So, guys, the GPP version, okay, very similar format, but with 3 rounds. 21 shoulder overhead at 95-65, 14 chest bar pull-ups. Into 3 rounds of 14 shoulder overhead at 115-80, 21 pull-ups. So my first suggestion for you guys is this one is going to be more grip and shoulder fatigue because it's going to be a little bit faster, right? The chest to bars, the pull-ups, you're not hitting as much of the tricep because there's not the bar muscle up in there, but you're still going to have that aggressive kind of like eccentric and concentric motion on the shoulder. So coupling that into the shoulder to overhead. So where the first one in the sport version, you might have more like triceps blowing up. This one, I think you're going to have more sort of like grip and shoulder blow up due to the nature of this one, where you might want to try to stay on or hold on for a little bit longer. So that's what I would tell you guys to be aware of for that. Dom, let's go Dom to start. Dom, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I might even say there might be a nice little blow up in the shoulders here. I know for myself, when I see like 95 and 115, my shoulder overhead is pretty much going to be a push press. It's fast. I like that. And because of that, my triceps actually get pretty fired up from that. So with that said, like, I won't get it in the chest to bars and the pull-ups like you were saying with the bar muscle-ups, but I think because of that, and because that weight, again, for myself, 95, I'm like, I'm going for broke on these 21. I think that will definitely bite me in the butt, but like, it is what it is. It's kind of cool to see what you can do, So for that one, it definitely strategy, know how you would pace that, because I know my triceps would blow up a little bit. But picking your sets and breaking up. It's the same style workout in the same way I would say attack it if you are not ready for the the sport version, attack it the same way. But if you are ready for the sport version but want to do this just because you did a bunch of our muscle ups and you want to do some chest to bars, I would say challenge yourself on this one and really try to hammer this down and see what you're made of. Make it more muscular enduring than anything, you know, and really have fun with that.
Totally. Rod, what do you think?
Yeah, so this one's really interesting, and I think it's actually different enough from the sport, like the barbell weight, like the percentage of weight in between the two barbells. They're still relatively similar, like 95 to 115 is like pretty close. It's not definitely not as big of a jump from 135 to 185.
Right.
And this is your cruise control workout where yes, there's differences between part A and B, but really I think you should just try to find the pace and cruise through it. Like Dom's saying, this is definitely going to be a muscle endurance workout. And I think the more volume that you put in and your ability to, you know, drop from the bar a couple reps before you really hit fatigue is what's going to set you up for success here. As soon as you hit that peak fatigue, this one's going to be hold on, and you're just going to see a slow roll down the mountain, down into the pain cave. But if you can kind of pull back a little bit, I think this is just a nice cruise workout at, you know, at a higher intensity.
I love it. I love it. Guys, enjoy, have fun. As always, post your comments to the Wad Up CCT Throwdown. We're going to comment. We see them all. If you have videos, put your videos up. Get into it. Let us know if you guys have any questions. Thank you guys for joining.
Later, guys.